Indeed, it is sad reading the Auditor General's report, especially the appendices, where the AHPETC was asked to respond. Not only are the AGO's findings troubling, but the defensiveness of the AHPETC in response to these findings suggests that instead of just taking ownership and be resolved to rectify the problems uncovered, the AHPETC is constantly looking for excuses to mitigate and rationalize the lapses. But it is sadder listening to their speeches yesterday and today. I was initially cheered by Mr. Lau Tia Kiang's declaration that Workers' Party would support the motion. I thought, finally, they have acknowledged the mess they are in, and their residents can now look forward to eventually be out of the hole. But my optimism was short-lived. He then went straight into a political speech, playing the victim of an unfair political world created by the government and calling for the depoliticization of the transition process. And soon after, Ms. Sylvia Lim and their other MPs spoke, repeating their objections to the AGO findings, objections which were already rebutted explicitly by AGO and documented in the AGO report. They were recycled in this House in the hope, I presume, that not many people would have read the appendices where such exchanges were recorded. WPMPs have made light of the AGO findings when they asserted yesterday that AGO had found no evidence of loss of money or fraudulent activity. But we have now heard this is a misrepresentation of AGO's conclusions. Mr. Harikumar highlighted this point too. AGO pointed this out in Appendix A of his report when the WP tried to put such words in AGO's mouth. AGO did not draw such a conclusion, that there was no loss of money or fraudulent activity. In fact, with so many documents missing and the accounts unreliable, who can be sure that there was no wrongdoing? The systemic failure at AHPETC resides in the arrangement that they have allowed, the de facto management of AHPETC being also the owners of the managing agent, resulting in the adverse outcome of overcharging and the obvious ineffectiveness of any oversight by the town councillors. The result is the deteriorating financial health of the town council, with all signs suggesting it is only going to get worse this year and the next. Minister Shanmugam probed further and asked about the financial position of FMSS and whether FMSS would publish its accounts. Minister Heng did the same thing just now. And as we heard, there was no reply. But I bet that the FMSS is one of those rare companies which is profitable from year one. And if my guess is correct, we can safely assume where the husband and wife team places their priority. To preserve the peace with the residents, they work on the visible aspects of town council work, clean the floors, maintain the lifts. And in any case, such work is not done by them. It's outsourced to external contractors. And in fact, the FMSS is paid to oversee them. As for the invisible aspects of town council work that residents don't get to see, like corporate governance, accounting procedures, timely payment into the sinking funds, and reducing operating deficits, they probably figure that such things being out of sight can wait. But this is also at the expense of the residents, though the effects may not be obvious immediately. It is only as a result of their own auditors' disclaimers and now the deeper findings of the AGO audit that we have sight of the mess that they have been hiding from all of us. Madam, I would urge that the AHPETC come out of denial and see the gravity of the situation for what it is. The AGO findings are not trivial. The lapses are symptomatic of a systemic failure. The failure to have proper controls and a reliable record and accounting system. This is the staple that every town council must have in order to operate. How else can you safeguard public money? Indeed, the AGO's conclusions are that until those weaknesses are addressed, AHPETC cannot safeguard public monies. Its accounts are inaccurate and unreliable. The AGO audit findings confirm the sad state of the situation at AHPETC. At the core of this tragic saga is the incompetence of its managing agent, the FMSS. Its incompetence spawned the many symptomatic lapses that the Auditor General have observed in the Town Council. While the incompetence of FMSS, the MA, managing agent, caused all these problems, it was, in the end, only the proximate cause. The primary cause was, unfortunately, the dereliction of duty by the town councillors, condoning this, allowing it to happen, and then making excuses for it when uncovered, instead of putting things right. Only they, the town councillors, can unwind the mess. If I may borrow another Chinese proverb or saying, 解铃还须系铃人. Only he who attached the bell can remove it. Madam Speaker, this has been a very painful debate. But if our discussions have given us pause to reflect on our responsibilities as MPs and as town councillors, and strengthen our resolve and determination to do better, regardless which party we belong to, then something good may yet come out of all this. Let us support the motion. This motion is not about PAP versus WP. This motion is about Singaporeans. This motion is about our residents. Let us do our very best to uphold high standards of governance, transparency, and accountability so that we can protect the interests. Let us do our best to protect, safeguard all the public monies that have been entrusted to our town council. Madam, I beg to move.